Good morning.
Good morning.
And welcome to Unity of Palmyra, where I promise I'll pay better attention next time. Where centered in love, we embrace a positive path for spiritual living. We are an open and affirming congregation. We love you exactly as you are in all of your magnificent glory, and we're so happy that you're joining us here in the sanctuary and from home via Facebook and YouTube. If this is your first time here, an extra special welcome. Please let us know if you have any questions. And please join us upstairs for fellowship. We're going to be fellowshipping upstairs through the month of March while we complete our downstairs renovations, and I'll talk more about that during the announcement. So let's all take a nice big deep breath. As we become fully present. So wherever you are, I invite you to unplug, to let go of what was and what will be, and give yourself the gift of being fully, exquisitely present to this time and to whatever space you're in. As during this season of Lent, we embrace the power of letting go and letting be. And we practice that this morning, letting go of any distractions, letting ourselves just be right here, right now. And as always, we enter into this experience with gratitude as we say thank you for this time to come apart for a while and remember the truth of who we are. Thank you for whatever safe space you are in right now. And most especially, thank you for one another. And so it is. Amen. So let's stand and relax and let go.
I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. All is well, all is well. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go,
Let's share together in our vision. Centered in love, we embrace a positive path for spiritual living and our mission wherever we go. We provide a welcoming community that inspires and encourages all who gather here through the teaching, sharing, and practice of universal spiritual principles. And one of the ways we practice is to honor wherever you are in your journey. So if you want a hug, we will bring it on in. If you're more comfortable with the handshake, we will honor that. And if you want us to leave you completely alone, we totally understand. Just create that bubble around you and we will not intrude on it. Have a great time.
I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Sing it with us. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here.
Good job. Have a seat. A couple of announcements. Our prayer chaplains today are Lisa Bechtel and Debbie LaTulip, and they are both in the sanctuary. They're wearing the white prayer stoles. They'll be holding sacred space for us during the service, and they'll also be available over here for anyone who wants one-on-one prayer after the service. The Easter Opera Fudge sale is going strong. Please pick up your order form. All of the sign-ups and forms and flyers have been moved up to the Rose Room. So that's all on that long, narrow table on that wall of the Rose Room. So you don't have to go down into the construction zone unless you're willing to knock out some walls. The unconscious bias workshop is today. It is hybrid. If you haven't signed up but you still want to attend, please see Sherry and or Jeff, and they will get you the link. The Spiral Dynamics workshop is Saturday morning, March 25th, and that is Zoom only. We're just going to Zoom that. We actually have some folks from other communities joining us for that, so that's going to be awesome. Game night is Saturday, April 1st. We have created a goal of having the downstairs done by Easter, hopefully. So game night will probably be upstairs, but if by some miracle we get the downstairs done before then, we will keep you posted. Next Sunday, we're calling it Sledgehammer Sunday. Thank you, Karen, for that. So that's when we're going to be actually taking down the walls. Now, Jeff Don was in earlier this week, and if you go downstairs, you'll see there are holes in walls now, because he had to make sure that we could move all the electrical that we needed to move and all the pipes that we needed to move. So the good news is that we can. He has said that if we can, before he comes back, which will be the middle of this week, if we can like tear down some of that drywall and some of the laths and horsehair plaster, boy, did that bring back memories, that it would save us some money because it'll save him several hours of demolition. So if you're interested in that, talk to me. I can take you downstairs after the service and show you what needs to be taken out, and then he can move through the moving very quickly, and then next Sunday we can rip out all of those walls. So it's going to be awesome. We have decided, we had Linda Raber and I had a quick executive discussion that we are going to hold off on the kitchen part of the project until the beginning of May, because that way everything will be nice and tidy downstairs for Easter and for some of the guests that we have coming in, and then we'll make a mess again in May. So where we're going to expand the kitchen. Yay! We'll actually have a workable kitchen. That'll be wonderful. So I think that's it for me. Were there any other? Yes, Linda.
I just wanted to remind everybody about the basket auction coming up.
Yeah.
And March 26th is the first Sunday that we're going to display the baskets.
Yeah, so if you have a basket to donate to the basket auction, let us know. All right, and yes, and then we'll figure out where we're going to do that. We will make this all work. So clearly, the faster we get the downstairs done, the better. So thank you for that reminder. Any other announcements? All right, great. Becky, would you read our Lenten reading for today?
Good morning. Good morning. Today, it is the process of non-resistance. Just as the sea does not resist the friction of the wind on its surface, nor does the grass resist rains, storms, and snowfalls, I allow the circumstances and experiences of life to wash over me. In this way, I free myself from the state of internal struggle and weakness that opposition and resistance cause. I practice acceptance and live life with no strings attached. Jesus said, "Do not resist an evildoer." So let the circumstances flow and stay focused on omnipresent love. The power to choose is always in each of us. Let's practice using it wisely. Non-resistance is a process that occurs in our consciousness as we recognize, accept, and affirm that in God there is nothing to fear. The only presence and the only power that exists in the universe is absolute good, and it is always with us. Holding this awareness will make everything work together for our good. And from Matthew 5:39, "But I say to you, do not resist an evildoer, but if anyone strikes you on the right cheek, turn the other also." And today we affirm, I choose not to resist today.
I am home, my family is here. I feel loved by the ones I hold so dear. And when my family needs me, I promise to be there. And when I need my family, I'm lifted up in prayer.
So this is the time of our service where we consciously enter into that attitude of prayer, of fully aligning and integrating body, mind, and spirit. We recognize that every thought, every word, every action is truly a prayer. It is the energy we are putting forth in the universe through our thoughts, our words, and our actions. We declare our intentions. We demonstrate our beliefs. And so right now we demonstrate our values of accepting and compassionate, open-minded, positive, and transformative, as we embrace anyone in this community, anyone hearing these words today who may be experiencing a challenge. We embrace you in that all-accepting, all-compassionate space. We want you to hear and to know that you are magnificent, regardless of where you are on your journey, whether you are experiencing sorrow or delight. You are magnificent. And so we breathe into that truth with and for one another. We acknowledge our innate connection, our innate oneness. We understand that when one of us is in sorrow, we all feel that sorrow. And when one of us is in joy, we all feel that joy. For we are one. And so we acknowledge that truth for one another this morning, as we all share in the wisdom, the strength, the courage, the love, the power that is this community. And we affirm together again that together or apart, we are always connected at the heart. And so it is. Namaste.
The God in me beholds the God in you. Namaste. The God in me beholds the God in you. Namaste. You are beautiful. You are whole. You are beautiful. You are whole. Well, I'm leaving my family. I'm leaving all my friends. My body's at home, but my heart's in the wind. And the clouds are like headlines on a new front page sky. My tears are salt water. The moon's full and high. And I know Joe Comrade would be proud of me. Many before me have been drawn by the sea, to be up in the crow's nest, singing my sang. Shiver me timbers, I'm sailing away. And the fog's lifting, the sand shifting, I'm drifting on out. Old Captain Ahab has got nothing on me, so swallow me, don't follow me, I'm traveling alone. The water's my daughter, I skip like a stone. And the fog's lifting, the sand shifting, I'm moving on out. Old Captain Ahab's got nothing on me, so swallow me, don't follow me, I'm traveling alone. The water's my daughter, I skip like a stone. Won't you please call my family and tell them not to cry? My goodbyes are written by the moon in the sky. Say, nobody knows me, I got no reason to stay. Shiver me timbers, I'm sailing away. La 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 la. La 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 la.
That was beautiful. So, welcome back to Lent. Last week we kind of presented what this series was going to be about, love, letting go, and letting be. So today and the next 4 Sundays, we're going to be getting specific about how we do that. So today's topic is the process of non-resistance. So how many of you at some time in your life have felt resistant? Is that on everybody? Yeah. So one of the things I have fun playing with are the use of metaphors. So resistance is a metaphor when we're applying it to ourselves. It's not a metaphor when you're applying it to an electrical current, which is where real resistance can happen. So we kind of embraced the whole I'm feeling resistant based on the work some of the early work of Sigmund Freud. Now, realize that when he was kind of quantifying his work, it was when electricity was brand new. Think of that time period. So it was an exciting thing. It's kind of like, now the Chi-Chi words are quantum, right? And think of something else that's like very popular right now. Or neuro is another one that's really popular right now. Everything is neuro or everything is quantum. Well, when Freud was creating his work, everything was about electricity. So it was about currents and resistance and charge and conduits. So he observed one time in his notes after working with a patient that she was struggling to see something, and he said it was just like with an electrical current, she was experiencing resistance. So we glommed onto that, and now we believe that if we are resistant, that it's a real thing. What if it's not? Ooh, I'm getting some interesting looks. What if I'm feeling resistant is a metaphor for another experience? So think about the last time that you thought, I have resistance to this idea, like you might be right now. And what was your actual feeling? What? Being uncomfortable. Doubt. Not sure. Anxiety. Fear. So when we use metaphors consciously, they're very powerful. Like, we know it's a metaphor, we're using it to explain something, we're using it to help us understand something. But when we're using a metaphor and we don't know it's a metaphor, like we think it's a real thing, it can actually impede our work, right? Because if you say, I'm feeling resistant, where do we go with that? Yeah, exactly. But if you say, I'm feeling anxious, or I'm uncomfortable, or I'm afraid, or I'm doubting, or I'm sad, that we can work with, right? So when we talk about being, the process of being non-resistant, which is more powerful than non-resistance, right? I am willing to be non-resistant. What we're really saying is, I'm willing to be with whatever is coming up, right? I'm willing to be with it. Or as we talked about last week, I'm willing to let it be. I'm not gonna shove it down. I'm not gonna not feel it. I'm not gonna deny that I'm having this experience. So part of being non-resistant is to be willing to be with whatever we are experiencing and not pretend it isn't happening. And it's also being willing to be exquisitely uncomfortable. Who here likes being uncomfortable? Isn't it our favorite thing in the whole world to be really uncomfortable? And don't we do everything in our power to avoid it? And yet, when have we experienced the most growth? The most self-awareness, the most aha moments, right? When we've been willing to be uncomfortable. You know, my friend Maria says, I hate to say this, but no one ever died from discomfort. And yet the way we avoid it, you'd think we would, right? So it's about being with it. So let's go back to the electrical metaphor, because now that we know it's a metaphor, we can play with it consciously. So let's say that we're all conduits, and there's energy flowing through us. We want to have the lowest resistance possible in that conduit so that we have the highest flow of energy possible. That's the power of the metaphor once we know what it is, right? So what lowers the energy in your conduit? Being unwilling, right? What else? No, we're talking about what lowers your energy level. So your resistance is high, your energy level is low. Fear. What else? Anger. Although fear and anger can also be great motivators. Don't be afraid to be afraid or be angry. Just know how to use that energy, right? Anybody ever get their house really clean when they're really ticked off? Oh yeah, baby. You want to get my house clean? Either we're inviting company or I am really mad about something, right? What else? What else lowers the energy? Lack of self-care. What else? Depression. What else? What? Your thoughts. Your beliefs. Beliefs that no longer serve us anymore. Stuff that we've really held on to. We're going to talk a lot about that when we talk about the process of detachment, right? But we're starting with just recognizing what limits that flow of energy in our conduit. So beliefs that no longer serve us, opinions that we've held on to really strongly, maybe the need to be right. Anybody have that one in their conduit? Right? What else? Our unconscious biases. Wow, what a plug for the workshop this afternoon. Yes, how about not doing something you said you would do? That, I see a hand going up in the back of the room, right? That takes up a tremendous amount of bandwidth, by the way. When we say we're going to do something and then we don't do it, either consciously or unconsciously, it's not, I mean, none of this makes us terrible people, it just makes us human beings with brains. But when we say we're going to do something and we don't do it, that takes up a lot of bandwidth. The flip side of that is when we do it, that gives us energy, right? It's the nature of keeping our promises. Whenever you make a promise, it creates a state of tension, but when you keep it, it releases all of that tension into energy, right? So let's look at some mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual drags on our energy. What about some physical drags on your energy? Illness, pain, yeah? How about not eating good foods? Lack of sleep? Toxic people. Would it interest you to know there's no such thing as a toxic person? Yeah, I know, I know, that wouldn't interest me at all. In fact, no, it would not. That's another conversation. There's no such thing as toxic people. Yeah, but hold on to that one if you want to, it's okay. We'll get to that with attachment, okay? So, yes, we can have physical drains on our energy. We can have emotional drains on our energy. You know what one of the biggest emotional drains on our energy? Resentment. Because it literally means re-sentiment, to re-feel over and over and over and over again something that upset you. So why would we do that? Because we're masochists, right? Huge drain on our emotional conduit. Resentment. What about our mental conduit? Lack of focus, right? Trying to engage in the myth of multitasking. There's no such thing. We don't multitask, we multi-shift, and it really exhausts our brain, right? And it depletes. It's like a block or a leak in that conduit. What about our spiritual conduit? What do we hold on to that raises the resistance and lowers the current in our spiritual conduit? That we're separate? Yep. What else? That's a biggie. Could it be that our way is the best way? Yeah. Another hand going up in the back. It's interesting how we judge other traditions that believe that, and yet we're guilty of that. Right, we're going to talk about that in the Spiral Dynamics workshop, by the way. How our center of gravity and unity and new thought tends to be in the green meme, where we only judge judgmental people. Right? And that in order to transcend that and include everything that's come before, which is the only way we will evolve, is to stop thinking that we're better than everybody that came before us. That creates drag in our conduit because it's inconsistent with who we say we are. Right? So there's a wonderful Taoist philosophy that is so perfect for the process of non-resistance called Wu Wei. Are you familiar with Wu Wei? I like to do Wu Wei, right? Wu Wei is basically actionless action. It's a way of being where we flow with life, right? And it's not inaction and it's not passive, but it is very much back to what we talked about last week of just letting be what is being presented to us, right? And dealing with it as it is, not trying to make it something different, not trying to judge it, but simply dealing with whatever is presented to us. And then like water, and Wu Wei, a symbol for Wu Wei is often water. It flows around it. So if you're observing a stream and there's a huge boulder in the middle of the stream, does the water try to move the boulder? What does the water do? Not a trick question. It flows around it, right? It finds a way. Wu Wei, it finds a way. So there's this wonderful little book called The Tao of Pooh, and I wanted to, it's awesome, actually. And I just want to read you a little section. It's by Benjamin Hoff, and it's based on the Tao Te Ching, and he also wrote the Day of Piglet. So this is the Tao of Pooh. And he says that Pooh is a Taoist master. He says, now we come to what could be called the most characteristic element of Taoism in action. In Chinese, it is known as Wu Wei. It is also the most characteristic element of Pooh in action. In English, it is not known as much of anything in particular. We believe that it's time that someone noticed it and called it something, so we will call it the Pooh Wei. Literally, Wu Wei means without doing, causing, or making. But practically speaking, it means without meddlesome, combative, or egotistical effort. It seems rather significant that the character Wei, which is W-E-I, developed from the symbols for a clawing hand and a monkey, since the term Wu Wei means no going against the nature of things, no clever tampering, no monkeying around. The efficiency of Wu Wei is like that of water flowing over and around the rocks in its path, not the mechanical straight-line approach that usually ends up short-circuiting natural laws, but one that evolves from an inner sensitivity to the natural rhythm of things. When we learn to work with our own inner nature and with the natural laws operating around us, we reach the level of Wu Wei. Then we work with the natural order of things that operate on the principle of minimal effort. Since the natural world follows that principle, it does not make mistakes. Mistakes are made or imagined by man, the creature with the overloaded brain, who separates himself from the supporting network of natural laws by interfering and trying too hard. The Tao of Pooh. So, Wu Wei is not about not taking action. It's about taking action that is in alignment with the natural order of things. And I was reminded by the reading this morning when Jesus said, do not resist the evildoer. Another translation is where he advised us or taught us to agree with our enemy quickly. You remember that one? Now, if Charles were here, he could tell me exactly chapter and verse of that. But what we make that mean in unity is we define an enemy as any person, place, thing, or situation that we perceive to be against us, right? So we could say it's that boulder in the middle of the stream. That's our enemy. It's blocking our way, right? And so what Jesus is saying is, be non-resistant. Just agree, and then move on. Just flow around it, and then move on. And yet our human nature has a really hard time doing that, doesn't it? What do we want to do instead? Make them see things our way. Tell them how right we are. Dig in, right? Dig in those heels, right? So again, it's not about not taking action. In fact, you get a lot done when you practice Wu Wei because you're flowing with the natural order of things. You're not beating your head against a brick wall, right? Another really powerful metaphor. So what we want to do is agree with our enemy quickly. We want to observe what is coming up for us that is raising our resistance and lowering the flow in our conduit. We want to practice Wu Wei this week. So how are you experiencing the weekly or the daily little Lenten blurby things? Are they making us think a little bit?
Yes.
Lots of synchronicity. Yep. I had many opportunities this week to practice Wu Wei. So yes, and again, you don't have to agree with all of them, right? There were a couple that I kind of went, maybe, right? But what I love about all of them is they're making me think. They're making me really examine what are my beliefs and my opinions and what am I holding on to that may be causing some suffering. Of course, that's the attachment Sunday, not this one. So this week, I invite you to practice the process of non-resistance, recognizing that what that means is notice whenever your discomfort is up. Embrace it, observe it, don't make it right or wrong, just flow with it. And also notice what lowers that current in your conduit, because that's how we can really tell that we're up against something that we might perceive to be an enemy. So lots of observing this week. Notice and observe and Wu Wei. Let's take that into meditation.
Make me an instrument, Lord, of thy peace, as I let go, as I release. Make me an instrument, humble and free, as I awaken the living Christ in me. As I awaken the living Christ in me.
So let's breathe together. Let's take a couple of nice, big, deep, cleansing, grounding breaths. As we allow the oxygen we're taking in to nourish us, enliven us, inspire and empower us. And as you focus on the breath, notice any areas of tension or pain in your body. And gently breathe into it. Allowing the breath to simply flow around it. Easing whatever tension we're carrying. And on the next breath, notice how easily the air moves throughout your body. It just flows. We don't need to direct it to a specific organ or tissue or cell. It simply knows where to go. Flowing in and out. A powerful example of effortless action. As we breathe in and out. We notice the receiving and the letting go. Receiving and letting go. As we sit in the silence, we simply observe any thoughts or feelings or sensations. And we let them flow. As we move through this time, we recognize that we can take this energy of oneness, this energy of being in the flow wherever we go.
Make me an instrument, Lord of thy peace, as I give love. Love I receive. Make me an instrument, humble and free, as I awaken the living Christ in me, as I awaken the living Christ in me.
I think we need to stretch. So this is the time of our service where we say thank you so much for your incredibly generous giving, your support of your time, talent, and treasure to the work of this community. We are very grateful. If your donation is in the form of paper, there's a basket in the back. Otherwise, we love it when those donations come flying through the ethers into our accounts. Thank you.
That was pretty. Okay, so here we go.
I'm running down the road trying to loosen my load, like a 7 women on my mind. 4 they wanna own me, 2 they wanna stone me, 1 says she's a friend of mine. Take it easy, take it easy. Don't let the sound of your own wheels drive you crazy. Lighten up while you still can. Don't even try to understand. Just find a place to make your stand. Take it easy. Well, I'm standing on a corner in Winslow, Arizona. Such a fine sight to see. It's a girl, my lord, in a flatbed Ford, slowing down to take a look at me. Come on, baby, don't say maybe. I gotta know if your sweet love is gonna save me. We may lose and we may win, though we will never be here again. So open up by climbing in. So take it easy. Well, I'm running down the road trying to loosen my load. Got a world of trouble on my mind. Looking for a lover who won't blow my cover. She's so hard to find. Take it easy, take it easy. Don't let the sound of your own wheels make you crazy. Come on, baby, don't say maybe. I gotta know if your sweet love is gonna save me. Take it easy. We ought to take it easy. Thank you.
Let's stand and share in our unity blessing and make sure we include those watching us online. Together, we love you, we appreciate you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ in each and every one of you. Yes, we do, and it is time. Wow. Okay.
Happy
Birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Linda, Diana, Francina, Linda, Doug, Stephanie, Sunny, Jennifer, Layla, Leslyn, and Trudy. Happy birthday to you. Okay, so now we'll do a really good job with the peace song. Okay.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, united all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment, peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. And wherever God is, all is well. Go forth this week and woo way. And join us for fellowship in the Rose Room and for the workshop at 1 o'clock. Have a great week. Bye-bye, Facebook and YouTube friends. We love you.
I'm really debating whether to go out or eat here, but I think I'll just